Hello and welcome to A Cuppa with Karen. I have been following the tales of Councillor Melissa Ferguson. She's from the Latrobe Valley. She was suspended for not apologising for anti-trans tweets last month. However, since then the ABC has updated this article and now I need to update my library. Editor's note: July the 11th, 2024. An earlier version of this article incorrectly attributed to Councillor Melissa Ferguson a tweet saying trans people in general are predators, perpetrating perversion and abuse and preying on children. In fact, this was a characterisation of the alleged meaning of a retweet by Councillor Ferguson as opposed to a direct quote from the retweet. Councillor Ferguson strongly disagrees with the characterisation of her retweet, describing the quoted words as an offensive statement which she did not make. The ABC apologises to Councillor Ferguson for the error. That doesn't sound very genuine, ABC. Mr. Clark said councils had identified issues that triggered disruptions at meetings, particularly from some of the more right-wing groups, allowing councils to notify police if they were expecting disturbances. Apology not genuine. After the arbiter's direction in June last year for Councillor Ferguson to apologise within the chamber, Councillor Ferguson read out a statement that did not include the word sorry. In a written statement to the ABC, Councillor Ferguson assured her constituents she would return and made a video on social media with a backing track of Alicia Keys' Rise Up. Political activists have gone too far, she said. It is time for those with the power to do so to shut the harassment towards myself and others in the community down. To the residents of South Ward, I will be back in a month on duties again to support you as always. I would like to acknowledge Councillor Lunn for her commitment to good governance and integrity. Her courage and dedication in speaking up ensures that we uphold the highest standards in serving our community. By getting hold of potentially incriminating Twitter feeds. The finding came after a complaint by fellow Latrobe councillor Tracy Lund. The Victorian government, Principal Councillor Conduct Register appointed Meredith Gibbs to review the complaint in regards to the retweet from Dead Name Stan. If 10 years ago you thought lesbians having penises or males competing in women's sports was a ridiculous notion, but now believe that's perfectly normal, perhaps it's you who have been radicalised online. So Dr. Gibbs, Councillor Lund and the ABC agreed that that means trans people in general are predators perpetrating perversion and abuse and preying on children. The ABC has since apologised. Latrobe City Council moved its meetings online last year after councillors expressed concerns for their safety and ability to conduct their work with the physical presence of the gallery. Those two words are in that first sentence again. Last year. Now let's see what direction the ABC goes in now. Attendance in the gallery grew each meeting with the formation of the Gippsland People's Council, which is an offshoot of My Place, which is people that are unhappy about COVID lockdown and vaccination mandates. My Place is an organisation with branches across Australia. It's run by a sovereign citizen and it's got a hyperlink. Anti-vax group My Place is pushing to take control of council decisions. 4th of April last year. So My Place founder, Darren Bergworth, So suck with everybody's name. So they're running a bit of a farmer's market in their hall, and they've got some stuff for sale. And he's a sovereign citizen, and he subscribes to some conspiracy theories. And part of the plan is to re educate Australians and build a parallel society in preparation for what he believes is the inevitable collapse of civilization as we know it. Well, we're in Victoria. It's kind of already collapsed, hasn't it? Anyway, last November, they welcomed a guest speaker, Ricardo Bossi, former SAS soldier, who has called for politicians, health workers, and bureaucrats to be hanged for their role in pandemic management. I think that's just being a bit dramatic. I don't think he'd really do that, would he? Don't think he's got the power to. It's not like he's running for government or anything. However, he did endorse Mr. Bergwerf for last year's federal and Victorian elections, which Councillor Tracy Loon also ran for. He shared some anti-Semitic conspiracy theories online, which the ABC would probably be right into now. They have thousands of followers on social media sites across 5 different states. What was a year ago? There might be there might be in all states now. University of Queensland Professor Catherine Gelber. He's got a bit of contagion theory going on. From Frankston to New South Wales Hunter Valley. Says not council. Jessica Jude bought a notice of motion on 15 minutes and smart cities. Says not is not signed up for either initiative, but of which both aim to make life easier for residents, but are viewed as covert tools of control by conspiracy theorists. Anyway, she said she wasn't in some Facebook group and was in some Facebook group or something, but it's not the trans stuff, so they couldn't put her on diversity training or report her to the Human Rights Commission. Dale Ash is 71. Since joining my place about 14 months ago, she has become its events organiser and started attending meetings of her local council. I go to the council meetings now because I want to know. I did question the CEO of my local council about 5G towers, and he couldn't answer me. Dale, you should run for council. Wonder how many of Frankston's councillors asks the CEO about 5G towers. When like Ballarat residents paid for this. Queer stuff for under 12-year-olds. Nobody got to ask about that. Anyway, now back to the right-wing conspiracy theorists from the Latrobe Valley. The chamber was addressed by community member Tala Ling, who runs a Facebook page that focuses on local government and has criticised the council's decision. Ms. Ling told the chamber she believed rather than disciplinary action being taken for differences of opinion, councillors should be more resilient. Councillor Lund said Ms. Ling's statements about councillors needing to be more resilient was reductive. It also doesn't acknowledge the damage that has been done by failure to be accountable to unprofessional and discriminative behaviour when the councillor has been found to be in misconduct after I found out about what they were doing on Twitter. Right-wing conspiracy theorist Ms. Ling pledged her support for Councillor Ferguson at the meeting, condemning the arbitration process, saying it had been used as a weapon to combat differences of opinion. I want to thank her for having the courage to stand firmly with her convictions and her beliefs regarding the LGBTQIA+ community, and I want her to know that she's not alone in her fight for single-sex spaces and safe safeguarding children, Ms. Ling said. Many of the findings from these cases have been appealed in a real court of law, but only those who can afford it, because it does come at a personal cost. After she finished, she walked out and about 30 people followed her. Oh, and she'd been applauded for her speech. So that means there were about 30 people left. The council meetings are again open to the public but require prior registration and are capped at 60 people. The meeting on Monday drew interest from Victorian Police, with 2 officers attending. Police confirmed they had attended in response to reports of a potential protest by local community groups, but there was no incidents of note. Oh, well, hang on. Mr. Clark said councils had identified issues that triggered disruptions at meetings, particularly from some of the more right-wing groups, allowing councils to notify police if they were expecting disturbances. Ms. Lung told the ABC that she felt intimidated on Monday night's meetings. Some moments throughout that meeting were not only challenging for everybody in the room, but also in some cases disturbing and confronting, Councillor Lund said. I know it had an impact on my family who were watching. It has a broader impact on our community, because if we can't have good levels of accountability and transparency, and people don't feel safe to do their work in their workplace. Council elections 2024. Run for council. Everybody in the state of Victoria. Look it up, do the training, and work out how you're going to cope with the diversity, equity, and inclusion stuff. You know, don't let them catch on that you're not into it, because we've got to get people on council. Can't fight with them. And then once you're on council, you can get rid of stuff the previous council has attached. And that'll do. See you later. Bye.